People across America are now threatening to go steal from grocery stores if they do not get their EBT starting in November. People like this gentleman here said, "I refuse to work for anybody. The US taxpayers work for me. They need to help me feed my kids, and he needs his EBT." This man also said to watch out if you go to any of the Walmarts near him because he will be going into there very mad and taking everything he can. And this woman here even warns everybody to start locking your car doors. If you end up leaving your house unlocked at night or your car's unlocked at night, she said people that do not get EBT will be stealing cars.
Walmart said they're thinking about closing their doors on November 1st to where you can only order your food and your groceries online. The Brokies made a threat towards Walmart and said that if the government shuts off food, SNAP, they're going straight to the Walmart to get everything they need. And now every Walmart has a police officer on standby, and they're thinking about not opening the doors until this situation has passed. There's a thing called a reality check in America. And your crutch, you use the American taxpayers' money as a crutch for you to have an easy life. And there's nothing wrong with acquiescing to the new arrangements for you. Get a job. Go through the adjustment period of not having what you need for a little bit, but maybe that teaches you a lesson. It's not over, but do something. It's not free to live in America for anyone. And just because you got away this long, didn't mean that that was a forever thing.
Y'all keep acting a fool and saying what y'all gonna do when y'all don't get y'all SNAP benefits. Well, Walmart has just released what they're going to do. Walmart said the doors will be locked. Ain't nobody coming in the store but the employees. Place your order online. Do your shopping before November 1st because you won't be coming up in here with that mess. Walmart say they don't have time for that. Thank y'all for letting us know. Doors will be locked. Place your order online. Pull up. It might be a little wait, but you're not coming in here with that. You're not coming in here with that foolery. We're not about to take a L, okay? Yeah. Walmart said not today, not tomorrow. We'll reopen back in January. That part. Because y'all don't know how to act. Y'all do not know how to act. And then y'all tell them what y'all gonna do before it hit. Let it be a surprise. Keep something a secret. Didn't your mama teach you how to keep your mouth shut? Anyways, Walmart said not today, baby.
So FYP is just blowing up with people that are threatening to, I don't know why they keep threatening Walmart for some reason. It's always Walmart about shoplifting. So I saw another video. I don't know how true this is. It's just speculation, but it makes perfect sense that starting in November the 1st, baby, Walmart will be closing its doors, and the only way you could get products would be through ordering them online. Now, I don't know how true this is, but it sounds like kind of smart to me. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I just want to say, people around here threatening you that they're threatening that they're gonna rob somebody or steal from somebody, and that's them folks' story. You know, they put in the work or whatever they did to get Walmart to Walmart. It is what it is. And how would you feel if you had a store and you put your hard work and effort into it, and somebody just came in your store and stole from you? It's not right, y'all. It's not right. And you threatening. People are threatening to do stuff that they have been doing. They have been shoplifting in Walmart. We see it all the time. But my thing is this. When y'all do things like this, it's going to hurt the disabled people, elderly people. Everybody can't shop online. And then with everything going on, it's not too safe to shop online anyway, because you just might not get your products, your DoorDash, your stuff from Walmart, because somebody might be in need and steal it. So you can't feel safe to go to a store and shop because people are going to be acting a fool and shoplifting. So maybe Walmart is allegedly planning to just shut their doors to the public where you can only have access to them online. Can you imagine how many people that would hurt? Everybody doesn't know how to go online and DoorDash and order all this stuff. Everybody don't know how to do this, especially elderly people. I was in Walmart about 2 weeks ago, and I complained about these people all the time. It happens all the time. And the elderly person was in there in front of me. She could barely ring her groceries up, let alone get her card out and know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So imagine an elderly person trying to DoorDash or trying to make an order for Walmart, how hard that would be for them when they can barely go in the store and get something and do a self-checkout. Y'all cut this mess out. Your children need you. Y'all can figure it out. Me, myself, I have made it a goal. When I see homeless people or somebody in the store that might not have it, I'm going to step in. And if I got it, I'm going to give it to them because God blesses a cheerful giver. And when you give to people, you don't expect anything in return. I'm going to start helping out more. People that I think need help, I'm going to help them. Y'all, all we got to do is stick together. But y'all stop talking about y'all going to steal and what y'all going to do to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how many people will be affected if Walmart actually, for real, this allegedly, if they actually close their doors and the only way you can get their products is by shopping online? That's just something to think about. Y'all cut this mess out. We better than this. We just got to start sticking together like we used to.
Hey, that's on God in heaven, bro. I'm tired of niggas, mamas, aunties, cousins, sisters, and nephews acting like they scared. On the dead homies, blood, if them food stamps don't hit on the 1st, the 3rd, or the 6th, we riding that dawn. On the dead homies, blood, ain't nobody, if Trump want to send a National Guard, well, whoop, they do. On the dead homies, blood, we gonna eat. Nigga, fuck you mean, blood, niggas talking about that's what they want us to do, but we gonna do it. The hell? And if y'all scared to go out and do it, well, send me $50. I got $100 in meat for you. I go get that shit on the dead homies. We need to get this shit structured and right, though. Because which days we riding out? Who all driving? And who the motherfuckers that's going in grabbing shit? We need to, matter of fact, I'm about to start my own motherfucking boosting unit. On God in heaven. We just need a couple people with trucks. Anybody who got a car, let me know. Then we're going to figure out how we putting everybody who going to fit in which cars. We're going to have the drivers going to stay in the cars outside in getaway position, and the rest of the people gonna run in. We need to know who going in the meat section, who going in the produce section, who going in the deli section, the bakery section. We gonna have niggas so we don't be running all up in there unstructured and we gonna do this shit strategically. Everybody got a certain destination, and when everybody done flocking, we gonna get back in the cars and we gonna all meet at the rendezvous point. And then we're going to mix all this shit together so we all leave with a little bit of something like meat, bread, snacks, a little bit of everything. So if y'all trying to get with this program, oh God, y'all just type it in my comments, stamps. Dead homies. Reply in the comments, stamps. And we about to put together a unit on the dead homies.
Hell, they talking about no food stamps. Y'all can take y'all purses if y'all want to. Y'all can take y'all purses if y'all want to. I ain't taking no purse. Yeah, steak. What you mean, steak? Now we about to eat good over here, baby. Y'all ain't stopping shit. Lobster tail, quit playing. Get y'all, fuck them little purses. Get a trash bag. You hear me? Get a trash bag. Cause who? We gonna be eating steak for Thanksgiving. We might have a steak off around here. Yeah, y'all see that? Play with somebody else, government. Play with somebody else. Y'all leave them little purses at home. Go ahead and get y'all a trash bag and go do what it do.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of great millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to do a quick lesson on pretty much, this, SNAP benefits being shut down, because as we, know November 1st, which is this Saturday, that a lot of people won't receive, food stamps come November 1st, And there have been videos coming out where, you have, black women saying that, they're just going to go in the grocery stores and just steal, And that's the time that we're in, where, these things are being set up to where, all hell is going to break loose. Now we just have to wait and see what's going to happen, if anything happens, this Saturday, but again, it's all a prelude. It's all leading up to, the time of Jacob's trouble. So I'm just going to bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And this has been a topic, for the past couple weeks now, about food stamps, being shut off, and you women, you've been living good. It's like I seen a video earlier of, a black woman, an Israelite woman, going grocery shopping and spend over $300, buy junk food, with her food stamps, full basket, but all of that is coming to an end, and also I'm going to bring out, feature, a picture as well, that the main, welfare recipients, the main nation of people that are on, government assistance is so-called white people, you Edomites. You are the real welfare, babies, but, of course, that stigma is going to be placed upon, us Israelites. Why? Because, we have the curses, upon us. So, of course, our women primarily are going to be the face of being the primary, welfare recipients, and also just in case, because, YouTube, tries to give me a copyright. So any videos that I feature, any clips that I feature in this video are being used for fair use purposes only. I'm not making any money off of anyone else's content. It's being used strictly for educational purposes, So fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 9. And it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." And right, man, rise up, ye women that are at ease. And again, it's lucky I'm still battling this cold, but you women, you've been living good, off of the government. These different government programs, food stamps, WIC, Section 8, these different things, it's all coming to an end, because you've been careless, while on government assistance, you thinking that, oh, well, this is going to last forever. You're just going to live off the government for the rest of your life. No, it's not how that works, man. We're not supposed to be dependent upon another nation to, take care of us, because again, we're a sovereign people. But again, we can't truly be sovereign because we're still in captivity, even though we don't have, chains on us anymore. We're still slaves to, the corporation known as the United States of America, Verse 10, it says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." And right, man, you women, you have been careless, spending your money on these designer clothes, shoes, bags, getting your hair and nails done, taking these trips, doing, these various things, to pretty much indulge, in folly, when the money that you were making or receiving, you should have used to, save up to try to, get off of government assistance, because if you're on it, you should only be on it for a period of time. But again, man, a lot of you just are lazy. It's just how it is, or I'm just going to tell it how it is. A lot of you are lazy. You just don't want to work, like the one Edomite woman. Whoa, I don't want to work and this and this. While the American people are, slaving away at these different jobs, man. You welfare recipients, are just sitting on your ass, living off of the taxpayers' dollars. All of that is coming to an end, man. It's coming to an end. Slakia. Slakia. but you have been living good. So it says the vengeance shall fail, So again, these different things are being taken away, classic problem, reaction, solution. So Esau, Edom, or the elites in particular have created the problem, which is to do what? Take away your food stamps. He didn't say, it was going to take away Section 8. Well, number 47, did speak about, taking that away, which I'm sure he's going to do anyway, but they want to take that away, take away your food stamps, and it hasn't even happened yet. And you already got women out here talking about, selling it, It's crazy. All hell hasn't even broke loose yet, and you women are already resorting to prostitution. It's amazing. But, we'll see exactly how this thing plays out. Verse 11, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. And gird sackcloth upon your loins. And, sackcloth, or wearing sackcloth is, a representation of mourning, being in a low estate. Because a lot of you women are about to suffer out here, man. You wicked women. The sisters, they'll be fine. But you wicked Israelite women, you're about to suffer in the worst way, because you've been living good off of government assistance. You're strong and independent. And even the ones that aren't on government assistance, you strong, independent women, you career-driven women, you're all about to suffer, because you've been careless, and it's going to come in time. Well, let me just grab it. Verse 12, it says, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. And right now you see that people are complaining, about not receiving food stamps. And it's mainly women. You had a couple guys, complain, but overall, that's the time that we're in, man, where a famine is being orchestrated now, regardless if it'll be a man-made, famine, or whether the Lord sends it, it's the Lord's doing anyway, but again, this man is pretty much orchestrating a famine to take place, and a lot of you women are going to need protection from the things that are going to be happening out here, right? So let me jump up. Still in Isaiah 32, I'm going to get verse 2, and it says, a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And right, a man, and not just any man, an elect man of the nation of Israel, man. He's going to be more precious than fine gold, Then let me see, Slakia, let me back that up, because again, that's the time that we're coming into where the Israelite man's value, just like, was in the order Jake, pretty much talking about how you women, you're going to have to humble yourselves, man. And the regular, average working man out here, Israelite man, his value is going to increase. And indeed, it is, So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 12. And it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So right, he's going to make a man, an Israelite man, an elect Israelite man, more precious than fine gold, man. So Lord willing we be, of that number, Lord willing, because again, you women are going to need protection from the hill that is about to come upon this earth, because again, a lot of you just you don't understand what's about to take place and how bad things are about to be, It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6, and it says, ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And right, what is coming to where, men are going to be as women, because, once a woman, she's in her 9th month, about to, give birth to her child, what happens? She has contractions, those birth pains. And the closer she gets to, delivering her child, the more intense those birth pains become, and it says that's how men are going to be out here. And if men are going to be afraid, how much more you women? You know, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, this is the time that we're in. You know, Jacob's trouble is not coming, it's here. And these are just the beginning stages, you know, and just speculation. Could all hell break loose Saturday? It could, you know, in various cities and states, you know, with this government shutdown that's going on and with, you know, people not receiving their food stamps. You know, all hell could break loose. But right now it's just speculation. We don't know for sure. But again, man, and just know that, you know, we're in that time. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble, the beginning stages, and things are going to increase. Things are going to get gradually worse and worse, you know. And just like it says, he shall be saved out of it. Who was that he? The elect, you know, the 1/3 and the 144,000, you know. So we're going to jump to the Apocrypha. We're going to get 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5. And it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, and the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Keyword famine, because that's what's coming. You know, a famine is being orchestrated, you know, because again, if people are already talking about looting, you know, the grocery stores and stealing food, like, come on, man. Come on, man. That just goes to show you, because if they do that, then again, that's just going to cause, you know, the military to step in to try to, you know, control that chaos, you know, that is coming. But again, famine is coming, you know. So I'm going to jump to verse 14. 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, and that's what's about to take place very soon. One people are going to stand up against another, you know, nation against nation. You know, it's going to be race wars out here, you know, because Edom is already ready to come against you Israelites, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, he's ready to come up against us as a people, but primarily who? The men of the Lord, you know, the prophets. He wants to get us off the streets. He wants to take our videos down, you know, because what we're telling you what this man is about to do before he does it, you know, and then he's just getting sloppy, you know, with his, you know, false, you know, FLAGS, you know, with those and these different things. But again, this particular event, you know, these food stamps being cut off, that's going to cause, you know, that's also going to cause a race war, because I've been seeing videos as well, Edomites, you know, just pointing a finger at, you know, niggas, which again, in some cases, they're right. I will give them that in some cases, because again, you know, they won't give a damn about Edom, man, you know, because your time is up and you know it. But, you know, they're chill. Certain of them are talking about defending themselves, man. If you follow them or try to take the groceries, they're going to defend themselves. But again, if this takes place, man, then, you know, it's like, yeah, then, you know, we're in that time, you know, Jacob's trouble. Verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And right, man, people are going to take actions into their own hands. You know, they're not going to regard what, you know, your local politicians, you know, the mayor, you know, the governor, you know, the senators, or even the president himself. They're not going to regard, you know, what he has to say. You know, people are going to take actions into their own hands to try to survive. We know what's coming. And again, there's no amount of physical preparation that you can do to try to prepare for what's about to happen on the planet Earth, you know. Because again, these particular things, now, if that does happen, then, you know, If these people loot these grocery stores, Walmart in particular, because that's the one you hear the most, Walmart, it's always Walmart, you know, then hell, the military very well may get involved. And, number 47 may do what? Issue martial law. Slakia. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And what is that? Martial law, man. Military checkpoints being set up, and that is what's coming to this place, man. It's going to happen very soon. You people just don't understand, that you're being fattened for the slaughter. Slakia. Verse 18, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Again, it's saying men are going to be afraid out here, man, because it's going to be a terrible time. It's not going to be good. You can sit here and think you're going to be, just this super mighty man in that day, man, because hell, even the men of the Lord are going to be afraid, man. Because just like, what does it say? What does it say in the scriptures? The remnant were frightened, primarily talking about, once the elect are delivered from the great destruction that is coming upon Babylon, but hell, even the things that are about to happen, man, it's going to be a fearful time, man, Verse 19, and this is the main point. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which the modern sword is the gun, says, and shall spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And right, man, people are going to raid each other's houses to take their food, because right now you have these particular people saying that they're going to raid these grocery stores. People are going to follow you home if they know you have food. They're going to try to take whatever food you have, This is all that is going to take place during the time of Jacob's trouble. People are going to break into each other's houses. They're not going to regard, if you were cool with them or not, man. Because people are going to be in survival mode. People are going to be desperate. And they're going to do, whatever it takes to try to survive, So I'm going to jump to 2nd Esdras chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, Woe is me. Slakia, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Because again, Esdras knew that he would be back during this time, and Esdras is back on the earth. Where he is and who he is, we don't know, but he's back in his lot, of being a prophet. Verse 18, excuse me, Slakia. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine. And are we not seeing this? The beginning of a famine about to take place, because again, a lot of farmers, have to, destroy their crops and, kill off livestock. Gil Bates is buying up, farmland. It's a lot of going on, man. But again, a famine is being orchestrated. This is the beginning of famine, So I'm going to start the verse over at 2nd Esdras 16 and 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right. Slakia, and again, man, Esdras is asking, what is he going to do? Which Esdras, he's one of the elect, so he's going to make it, but he saw exactly how bad it was going to be during this particular time, Verse 19, behold, famine, yet again, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And right, man, these particular things are punishments that the Lord is going to do upon you Americans, you Babylonians, especially you wicked Israelites, man, and even you other nations, because even though it says Jacob's trouble, because Jacob, which Jacob is a representation of the nation of Israel as a whole. Jacob is going to be in trouble, man. We're going to be in some troublesome situations, but what? You other nations, you're going to be judged too, It's that time. That's the time that we're in, man, the time of judgment, where the Lord is about to visit this place, So I'm going to jump down, pretty much backing up, the statement I made earlier, because again, a lot of you women are about to be defenseless out here, man. And this is why. 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 33, it says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And why are they going to mourn? Why don't they have men there to protect them? Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Yet again, famine. And what? Because again, World War III is coming. A draft is still coming, And what? A lot of you men that get drafted to go and fight during World War III, you're not coming home. You're going to die over there, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the region of Saudi Arabia. You're not going to make it. And just like it says, and the ones that don't, die in the war, they're going to, die of the famine. They're going to starve to death, Or if they don't starve, they're just going to be put to death in whatever, judgment the Lord places upon them, So I'm going to end it with this. Slakia. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 14. It says, behold, my servants. Oh, Slakia, verse 13, Slakia. Isaiah 65 and verse 13, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And right, the Lord is going to take care of his elect. His servants, they're going to eat. They're going to have, food to eat, water to drink. While what? The wicked of our people, suffer. Yeah, it's like it. Making this tea. While the wicked of our people suffer, man, the servants of the Lord are going to eat. The elect are going to eat, man. While what? The rest of our people, are starving to death, are dying of dehydration. Because what? They didn't want to get right, So the Lord is going to judge them, Verse 14 says, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right? While the elect are rejoicing, you wicked Israelites, you're gonna be sorrowful, as it says, man. You're gonna mourn because you're gonna be suffering, while the elect are fine, man. So that's the time that we're in, man. The elect are gonna rejoice, man. They're gonna, at least get that, that breath of fresh air, or just that sigh, of relief, but because of the hell that is happening on the earth, the Lord is gonna take care of them, while what? You wicked niggas suffer, So again, we'll see what happens come Saturday. If anything happens, which again, if it does, all hell is going to break loose. And that's going to be the beginning, like the true beginning of Jacob's trouble, So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till next time I say, Shalom.